Well, kia ora beaks, it's Andy here. It's been a while, isn't it? Yeah, Bumblebee. It's like they know. Anyway, look, thank you so much for sticking with the channel. We're into season 2 almost. This is kind of a precursor because in the next couple of weeks I will get some bees. Ironically, today, this day of filming, is November the 4th, 2025, and it's actually the exact year to the day that I installed my first ever nuke. So where has that time gone? Unfortunately, though, a fair chunk of that, about a third of that time, I've had no bees, because at the end of last season, sadly, I found the queen dead, and 4th November 2025, I found the queen dead 140 days ago. That's 4 months, 18 days. The 18th of June 2025 was that day that I discovered it. And you can have a look at that particular episode in season 1. But anyway, yeah, so what I thought I'd do is, because I've had the hive, which consisted of 2 supers, 2 brood boxes, I've had that hive in storage, and I've looked after it. So it's been in the garage. It's been quite well wrapped and secured, so no ants have been able to get into it, and we don't really have a problem with ants, luckily anyway. We've also kept out any wax moth. It's been well and truly behind closed doors, so to be fair, the condition is pretty good, except a bit of mould has moved in. So what I've done is I've pulled out, and we'll sit down in a second and have a look through one of the brood boxes and one of the supers, and just have a look at what their condition is, because I actually haven't looked in that time. It's just been stored away. So we'll have a look through them and just see what kind of condition they're in, and see if they're be ready for season 2. As I said, thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate it. It really is great to be editing these videos again. We're into it. Let's have a look at these boxes. Yeah, did I say it's great to be editing these videos again? Let's definitely have a look at these boxes. So, the honey super, and this is sort of a slightly older wax, but it's already built up. This is the supers. They were full of honey. I got 30 kilos out of last season, and basically they're still sitting as they were after I emptied them out, so rather clean. And the good thing is they're already built up for the next bees to tidy up and start filling again. So theoretically the honey supers are looking pretty tidy. So pretty happy with it. So that's great, especially having been in storage for the last 4 or so months. So they're ready to just be tidied up and filled again. But that's obviously a bit further into the season when I can build up the colony a bit more. Now the thing that I really do want to look at here is the brood box. Now there's a fair bit of capped honey on this one, as you can see. And if you're not familiar with this kind of stuff, this all here is capped honey, and this is what the bees can use to feed off when the queen is busy filling all these cells with eggs. Obviously none in there at the moment because the queen had passed away a good 2 weeks before I had come back and done a check. So everything was gone. The honey's still dripping out onto my leg. So that's quite a clean looking one. There is a tiny bit of mould in there. I don't know how well you can see it because I use my cell phone to film these. And there is a bee having a wee look at the moment. Another frame here which is absolutely chocker full of capped honey. Oh, look at this. The bees noticed. Full of capped honey. There's a bit of pollen there, but there's also a bit of mould as well. And here there's some mould there too. It's not the worst of the frames though. Now look at this. Here's the bee that's... oh, she's gone. She's in the honey super having a look. It's so cool. I'll try and capture her in a minute. On the camera, I won't actually capture her. So as you can see, there's more mould on there and a fair bit on there too. Now the bees will likely clean that up. And then another heavy frame as well, which has got a fair bit of mould on it. Absolutely dripping with honey. It's another heavy one. Lots of nectar in that one too. So really good start for the new colony when I get them in there. The ones that really stand out for me is this one here. There is a fair whack of mould on that one. And a little bit on that side too. And some rather old comb, but still does the trick. My leg is getting soaked here in honey. And this one here is probably my favourite frame out of all of them. And I'll tell you why, because not only is it, it's full of pollen and it's got capped honey and mould, but it's got one honeybee frozen in time. A real representation of just how quickly I lost this hive. So she's forever resting on that frame. And then you can see another example of mould that's formed on top of some of the pollen on the back of this one. So a bit of cleanup to do for the new colony. Sadly couldn't catch the bee on camera. She's obviously flying away again, but there was a little thought that crossed my mind that maybe that bee was a scout and she'd found this place to move her swarm to. So maybe she's gone back to her swarm and she's gonna do a little jiggle and tell them all that there's somewhere to go. So I might just hang tight and wait for that and see if something eventuates. Because it'd be ideal to catch a swarm, won't it? It'd be brilliant. That'd be the way to go. Because it is swarming season currently and there's a lot of them around. In fact, I just missed one. I had a call from my boss a couple of weeks ago. He said, hey, I'm mowing a lawn, because he mows lawns as a side hustle. He said he was mowing a customer's lawn and there was a swarm and it was pretty close by. So I started packing all my bits to go and pick up the swarm. And then he sends me a text about 10 minutes later and says, sorry, someone else has already come and got them. So it's a bit of a race when word gets out about a swarm. Other beekeepers obviously try their best to get there, and that's just the nature of the game. But hopefully I can encourage a swarm to move into my garden to get me started. I've got to say the propolis in those boxes smells amazing. But anyway, as I've said already, thank you so much for following, and let's hope for a more successful season 2. And that's a wrap. Episode 2 done and dusted. And publish.